Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guide 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Blu-ray of Shout Factory's release of The Deer Hunter. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I'll put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guide 365. Okay, The Deer Hunter, starring Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken. Now, this is a movie that it's not something that I personally go back to quite a bit. I've seen it maybe 3 times in my life. First time I ever did see it was actually on VHS, and then watched it, I think, once on DVD. So it's been a long time since I've had a chance to revisit The Deer Hunter. And it's, as a movie, I was not, of course, an adult when this came out. And there was a lot of controversy surrounding the subject matter. Just, and I understand, how some people might feel about it. But I still think it's a well-made movie. It's heavy subject matter. It really does deal with soldiers and pre-war, post-war, and everything that has to do with what these particular soldiers went through. But I think if you take out the Russian roulette aspect, this is an example of what most soldiers go through in any war. And I think Vietnam just being kind of that particular war, it speaks a lot to how a soldier and what they go through. So it's a very heavy movie. And this is one of those that as I said, I don't go back to very often, but when I do, it always impacts me, and it definitely did so when I rewatched it on 4K. All right, so we're going to talk about the picture quality and audio of The Deer Hunter, but first let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have Shout Factory's The Deer Hunter in 4K with a slipcover. And then we have the back and the spine, and then similar interior artwork. All right. There's some artwork on the discs. It's always nice when they include that. All right. Now, let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. The Deer Hunter on 4K supports a native 4K resolution as well as HDR10 and Dolby Vision grading. For purposes of this review, I'll be talking about the Dolby Vision encode. Okay, so The Deer Hunter, a movie made in the 70s, I would say can be a little hit or miss as far as the overall quality goes. Now, I feel that it's overall a much more improved picture over the standard Blu-ray, which I had a chance to look at. But really, I feel that the Dolby Vision is going to be a thing that kind of ultimately saves it as far as picture quality goes. Now, let's talk about the film grain. There's plenty of it here. So if you're not a fan of film grain, you're really not going to enjoy yourself, but it's appropriate. It can be a little bit dense and heavy at times, but it is there and present. So as far as like previous iterations that have utilized DNR, thankfully that is not the case here. There were a few, it kind of looked like softer, smoothed over spots. I noticed it at the beginning of the movie in the steel mill, and there was a couple other scenes. I think there was one in Saigon that I noticed it, but it's not prominent. It's not going to be, overly distracting, but I did notice it. So you have that going for it. Now, for what HDR10 and Dolby Vision are able to bring to the table, I think it handles black levels there to them. Detail can also be a little bit hit or miss. I mentioned those softness scenes at the beginning, but there, some of the skin textures can be a little bit less, deal with a little less resolution. But I think for the most part, it stands out and it looks really well done. Colors, I think, really kind of pop here. Now, I notice a lot of the neon signs in the bars and the outside of the bars back in the States and also in Saigon pop off the screen. They look fantastic, stand out. It has a nice natural color element to it. I think overall the Dolby Vision really does a great job here. It looks fantastic. This is not going to be, I would feel, like a reference quality I would show somebody of like what a classic movie can look like on 4K, but it gets close, and I think it's definitely an uptick over the standard Blu-ray. The Deer Hunter supports a DTS 5.1 track, and I have to say it's pretty good. It's not a bad overall experience. In particular, I would say some of the war scenes really come to life. They fill the room nicely and give you that overall war feeling. But most of the movie is not like that. It's mostly just some of the quieter dialogue-driven moments area. The fronts sound good. They handle a lot of the action and the activity throughout the movie, and no real issues in that department. The rear speakers sound pretty fantastic, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of those quieter moments, there's still a bit of ambience, that's sprinkled throughout those rear speakers. The LFE is somewhat aggressive, but it's restrained in those otherwise quieter dialogue-driven moments. Overall, it's a okay, experience with DTS 5.1. It's not going to set the world on fire, but I think for what it does, it handles a lot of those things like music and action and just talking conversation. That it handles it very well. So it's a very good overall experience with the DTS. For the picture quality of the Deer Hunter, I'm going to give this one a B+. I think it's a very nice looking image overall. It handles the resolution fairly well. There's a couple rough spots sprinkled throughout the film, a little bit of smoothness to it, but I think overall the Dolby Vision really brings out those natural colors. Black levels look fantastic, and detail is a solid upgrade. For the audio mix of the Deer Hunter on 4K, I'm going to give this one also a B+. I think it's an okay 5.1 mix. It's not going to be used for demo purposes, but I feel it handles all the action scenes fairly nicely, fills the room, and those quieter dialogue-driven moments are handled fairly well, also with a lot of ambience sprinkled throughout the surround sounds. So that is my review of the Deer Hunter on 4K. Let me know in the comments below if you are a fan of the movie, and if you got the 4K, what did you think of it? In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.